that's happening, please let us know. Give us a call at 877-342-7770. That's 877-342-7770 or hit us up at info@WDRBmedia.com. That's info at WDRBmedia.com with all your events, anything that you need. If you need some free advertising, we can hit you up. We can get you taken care of with that too. So be sure to give us a call, 877-342-7770. Now, what you've all been waiting for, we were discussing relationships and communication. And this is not just relationships in general, this is marriage. And we were specifically targeting, do your spouse or would your spouse be okay with you communicating with your ex? Now, very important point. Your ex has been placed in the friend zone, not an acquaintance, not a we're disconnected for life, not a enemy, but your ex is now your friend. They're in the friend zone, just friends, right? But now you're married.
Yeah. Put that just on there.
Just friends. But now you're married. So I guess what we were discussing is how comfortable would your spouse be if you communicated with your ex on a friend level? Because mind you, you and your ex got history. We talking about an ex that's got some
real history.
Some real history. Not just some, oh, we just went on a couple dates. No, this is, we got it in. Let's just keep it real. Keep it real, but keeping it clean. Keep it real, but keeping it clean. We got it in. We went there. You know, we touched the heart of each other. It just didn't work out. So now we're friends. We're on that level where we have an understanding. You've moved on. I've moved on. But because you made that impact or that impression, that positive impression on my life, and you're continuing to add value to my life, you are considered a friend. Oftentimes we use the word friend too loosely. We use the word love too loosely.
Right.
We throw words out there, and words have power, so we got to be careful what titles we put on people, because sometimes people don't deserve the titles that we give them. We just sort of label them as such because it sounds good. So we're going to talk about that too. But because I'm not married and I can't speak from this perspective, we're going to talk to some people today who are not and are.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
you are not married.
I am not married.
You're going to have to get close to the mic. They got to hear you. You're the only man in the room
I
today.
am not married.
You got to represent. We're going to ask you why in a little bit. Ma'am?
So let me clarify. I made a mistake when I said, hey, we're married. I just pretend. Pray for me. That's not God. So we're engaged, but there's no ring yet because I'm trying to encourage him with, the financial aspect. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Hey, they got to get that right. but that's okay because you're speaking those things that are not as though they were.
Even though he had the encouragement to try to go in January to register of deeds, and I declined. That's a longer story. So
wow, bless God. Moving on. And ma'am, are you married?
Engaged.
So no one. I was lying to you, Jesus.
God revealed the truth.
I
have a ring.
It's a difference. You have a ring.
I have a ring.
Yeah.
But it's not official. Yeah.
No,
in the eyes of the law.
Oh yeah, we're not married. No.
You're not married. No papers.
And we're not shacking.
And you're not shacking.
Thank
She
you.
knows I talked into her. So no one is married on this platform. But we're speaking from a perspective, I guess, now, those who are our fiancé. I don't have a fiancé, nor am I involved with anyone right now, for those who are potentials. But I had to put that out there. So get right. So pursue me with purpose, or don't pursue me at all. But so we're talking from a perspective where we are involved with someone at a serious level. Where would that person, your significant other, let's call it that, would they be okay with you communicating with especially if you're not married yet? So you ain't nothing on lockdown yet. Nothing's on lockdown. So I think, and you guys tell me your thoughts, your feedback on this. I think it comes down to a matter of how secure that person is.
Yeah,
because they may feel like, oh, well, you trying to get back with your ex. I don't know. I know how people's minds think sometimes. Yeah. So you guys share with me your experience. Who want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think it's real critical and real important what the level of communication is about.
Communication.
What's the reason you're keeping in touch? Is there kids involved? Is there some kind of networking, or what's the intention behind keeping the communication open?
Mhm.
And I think that's something really important to kind of look forward to. My situation, you know, I'm really good friends with the whole family of one of my exes, so they know me well. They
Right.
when they see me, it's like, hey, there's our family,
Yeah.
So that relationship I don't think will ever change based on who I date or who I'm not gonna date or who I end up marrying or whatever
Right.
the case may be.
Right.
Because that's just a separate relationship away from my relationship with her.
Gotcha.
You know, so I think that definitely has a lot to do with
Everybody come close to
keeping
your
in,
mics.
keeping in contact.
Very good. Don't be scared of it. They ain't gonna bite. No, I'm just playing. Very good. So communication. Yes, communication is key. And there's so much I want to talk about. We're gonna stay in order. So, what are your thoughts and feedback on that
Okay.
as far as insecurity?
I'm
Security.
like Roger, who had a history where it sounds like there was healthy situations.
Mm-hmm.
All of my exes have known me like a pastor knows his word. So I think with the person I'm with now, because I think images hit his soul, and it's like, well, they've known you like this, even though it's a titled ex. How do I know for sure that if we have a heated argument, you're not seeking counsel from them, and then it turns into something intimate?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it goes there, how can I cope knowing that I love you and still having the grace to forgive you, where I'm not bringing it back up and there's not subtle thoughts that are playing in the recesses of my mind where I'm therefore becoming resentful secretly.
Right. And that has been, and now what you just said, do you feel like that is insecurity on your part or distrust in this individual, or what do you see that as? What do you see that's your responsibility, your place? What spirit are you taking on in this?
All the above. The spirit I want to take on is responsibility. When it comes to a man's heart, if he gives you his heart, it's like a woman giving her soul or her body. It's equivalent. A lot of women don't understand this. So the minute you're in heated conversation and you're like, take it there. Oh, remember when you were trying to commit suicide and you were upset and you called me? Well, check this out. Next time you want to call me, call her. This chick that was on your phone last night when I saw that text message. How about that?
So you're
when
commanding
you
that.
right, when you do that, it opens up a door where now it feels like he's been cheated on, because where does a man go in the recesses of his mind? His trust is in your heart. So now that you take that away, it's like I'm homeless emotionally. So I had to learn, if you end up calling your ex and the person you're currently with, first of all, doesn't know them face to face,
Right.
or they can go to their job or say, hey, this is the situation, the relationship I have with the friend, which is my ex, and the relationship I have now with the person I'm with. It should be on the same level. When they call, I put the conversation on speaker. I have to
nothing to
protect.
hide.
I have to protect the integrity, that relationship that I'm in presently, so it doesn't end up another ex. If I believe that this is ordained by God, I still have to do maintenance. Just
That's
because
right.
God says
That's
it's
right.
well,
That's right.
it doesn't mean that I can just default and sit on and get lazy. You know, I still
She
gotta
want
go
me
to
to
gym
make
and
me
stuff,
drop
y'all.
the mic in exit stage, but I'm not even the one talking. Like, you hit the doggone nail on the head.
Want to do it?
If you don't have anything to hide, first of all, if you're communicating with your ex should know I am in a committed relationship with whoever. It shouldn't be, no, it's none of their business. No, it is some of their business, because you are keeping those lines of communication open, and you should be okay with the speakerphone conversation. If it's something that the ex doesn't want everybody in the room to know, don't put it on speakerphone, but at least let the person that you're with know, I've already let them know about you. I'm with you. I'm not with them. Transparency and openness is what you need to be. And I just posted something not too long ago on being transparent with, being transparent so it can minister to other people, because when you're transparent, it opens up an opportunity for other people to know that they're not alone in a particular process or season. You've been through it, you're going through it, and so that ministers to somebody else, and then you can speak to that person. They're more willing to open up to you and hear what it is God is trying to get through you to them, right?
Amen.
So I get that. I feel you on that. But here's the problem nowadays. People are so private, and my thing is, I have a trust issue with you if I can put my conversations on speaker.
Right.
If I can say, hey, boo, I need to call such and such because whatever. I'm completely open with the person that I am with if I was with somebody because I have nothing to hide.
Right.
I'll let if I'm communicating with an ex, I'll let them know, yeah, I'm with such and such. Oh, well, how's it going? Oh, everything is going great. Even if it's not going great, I'm going to make it great because I'm a peacemaker by heart. Now, everybody's situation is not the same. And yes, I have my moments, but God always brings me back. I'm still a masterpiece in the making. Everybody is. So my thing is, I have nothing to hide. I'm not going to sit up and be disrespectful on your phone in your house, on my phone in your house, and not even let you know who I'm talking to so you can go run wild with your thoughts, even if you're insecure to whatever level. I'm going to make you feel secure because I love you and I care about your feelings and I'm a good steward over your heart, and I would want you to show me the same respect. And the problem is nowadays, forgive me, because most men, not all men, most men feel like they don't have to show a certain level of respect to the woman that they're with because either they haven't decided. Well, no, I'm going to say it has most men, not all men, most men, they want to keep the fact that they have open lines of communication with a certain ex, I would say, concealed. They would not want to share that information simply because they know how emotional women are. We are, as when we are emotional. Men, most men operate on more logic than emotions, period. Most men don't even hardly communicate. So to get a man to communicate openly and consistently is
a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. That's favor from the Lord because most men don't have that in them, like we were discussing earlier, to openly communicate and be consistent with it, which is also something that causes a area of not necessarily mistrust, but an area of insecurity in women. It's like, well, you're not communicating with me, and in order for this to work, we have to communicate. We have to have good communication. We have to have right communication. We have to have just communication. And so when you don't communicate, now you're allowing other things to come up and other feelings to come up that maybe you didn't think was there, that insecurity. And now it's your fault as a woman. It's your fault because what you're insecure about, just because I didn't. No, that's why you have to have an understanding up front. I'm going everywhere.
They're
telling on it. I am telling on
Only
myself.
because we don't give the platform to men that makes them comfortable. Anytime a man hears confrontation in a tone, it's not exactly the words, but if the tone, the body language is saying, hey, I need to know about this. What is up with her on Facebook? He's automatically thinking, I'm being sabotaged here. Let me go into my man cave. I don't know how to articulate my words because I wasn't shown how to do this. So as women, we have to have the responsibility of knowing the whispers of a man. You have to be able to nourish him and to be able to communicate. Now, we can communicate all day about ESPN.
Give me an example. Give me an example on how to nourish him and to help him open up and respond. Go ahead, girl.
I will, since I'm the one with the ring.
Yeah.
All right.
Outshade, palm tree, hashtag pray for me. So much for transparency.
So the way to nurture that,
give me some.
not yelling, not nagging, not disrespecting him, not calling him by his name.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
And tone of voice, I agree 110%.
Tone of voice.
Tone of voice, and everything small is not big. Like, don't take a small thing and make it into something that is not.
What if you have what if you have a man who does that, and what if your tone is always at a low tone and you're coming at him correctly? Because, see, I had somebody whom I came at often, always at a low tone, at a peaceful tone, and no matter how I came at them, they always found something to take offense to, and they always blew up something small into something big. And I'm like, why are you doing it? Why are you making something complicated that's so simple? I just asked a simple question, and I even explained why. I said, listen, I'm gonna ask you a question. This is why I'm gonna ask you this question, and this is and if you answer the question, this is how it'll help me. So I broke it down. They still didn't receive it well. What do you do then?
Well, you can't help people mental state now. You know what I mean? You can't,
So there was a mental issue that the person had.
But however you can nourish. It all depends on how much work and how much time you're willing to put in that person. Relationships take time.
Right.
They
and
do.
Coming from a man's view, and I know you're gonna like blow this up and say,
We
wait
not
a
gonna
minute.
blow it up.
There is
I might.
a such thing as over communicating.
Yes,
Really?
You know,
I can
yeah.
agree with that.
And this is why I say
Yes,
that, because
I
if I communicate something to my woman,
Mhm.
and then she turns around and throws it back in my face, oh, I'm not about to communicate
Give me
with
an
you about
example.
nothing.
Exactly.
Give me
You're
an
right.
example.
He got a
Example
point. He got a
about-
point.
Like,
Hold on, give me an
like,
example.
okay.
So what do you communicate that she could turn around and do it?
Hey, girl, I'm gonna be at my buddy's house today, and
Yep.
so and so might come through. You know, I'm just letting you know.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Oh, everything goes cool.
Yeah.
You go, everything's fine. You come back home. So what she say? What da 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 da? And what she say? Did she look at you funny? Did you take your number? Did you give her a hug? You know what I mean?
Okay, that's immaturity.
You
You're
know
dealing
what I
with
mean?
immaturity. But let me
But
give you
it
that same
happens
scenario.
because
But that's
a lot.
but people do that. He got a point. He got a point.
But,
You know what I
but
mean?
you got the ones who don't. Look, same scenario. You say, hey, I'm going over my boy's house. Such may come through. All right, babe, just check in with me. I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me know. You check in. You text, hey, babe, everything's going smooth. I love you. I'm thinking about you. I'm fine. I'm perfect. But the problem is there's no communication. In other words, there's no follow-up. I don't. And I can only speak for me because I can't speak for all women. I don't ask for much. I ask for communication. I ask for consistency, and I ask for respect. Okay? And if I'm giving that, I expect that back.
Right.
And I expect my man to trust me with the information you're going to share with me. It's okay to be open. It's okay to be vulnerable. Now, it's a whole nother story for a man to open up and be vulnerable. But it's okay because I'm going to take care of your heart. I'm going to love you. Even though a man's supposed to love a woman how Christ, or his wife, how Christ loved the church, I'm going to love you the way I'm going to love you for the rest of our lives, because I need you to see that this is how I operate. This is my DNA. This is how I'm set up. I don't like conflict. I don't like confrontation, and I like peace. I need to be in a place of peace because it makes me live longer, makes you live longer.
Right.
So I'm a peacemaker. That's my whole thing. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in your mind, peace in your spirit, peace in your home. I'm going to create an oasis for my man to dwell. Okay?
Yes.
So if you're going, so be open. I can receive you being honest. I can respect you being honest with me. Say, I'm going to my boy's house, such and such. She may come through. I know it's your ex. All right, baby. Just check in with me. I love you. If you do that simple thing I asked you to do, we all good. You come home, you got a whole cooked meal. It's all laid out. It's all laid out because he's a king. I'm gonna treat you as king because you treated me as a queen. You made me feel secure.
Right.
Makes
That's-
sense.
I have a question
That face.
for you. When you mentioned that the individual wasn't giving you respect, even though you gave it out, there was no reciprocation on his end.
Not the way I was giving it. No.
Okay, there's a break there because you're only attracting what's inside of you, but it's coming in a yin and yang pattern. The way that he was not giving you what you needed is because he was neglected years before you even came into his life. But you were neglected in the area, just different from his neglect, but it was still neglect. So it was an association thing. It was like, wait, this is reminding me of her, even though you're different. It's similar because I'm not healed.
How do you?
So-
And I addressed that, and I tried to address that, but this person was so guarded, they would not let me in. And it's okay, but because you have to learn from your lessons, and sometimes you block your own blessing. God got to take something away in order for you to learn. It's cool. I get that, but my situation was, no matter how hard I tried, it seems like I was working more. He was making it harder for me to make this work, and it felt like I was doing all the work myself, and it was very painful.
You want to work together.
I want to work together, and at times he seemed like he was wanting to work together, but then it would
Snap. He would have a flashback to
he would
something
just
in the
he
past.
would flip like Dr.
Yeah.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I'm
That's
like,
a spirit.
who is
Yeah,
this
yes, it is a
man,
spirit.
Hoppo?
It is. It's
Right.
When
Who is
craziness.
this?
he wasn't
Craziness.
delivered.
And then one minute you're communicating with me,
Yeah.
and then the next minute you're not, and it's nothing's
that's
changed.
fear right there.
It's fear.
Yeah, that was operating. Because for him to be delivered, he had to first have a made-up mind, accept some things that had nothing to do with you before you came into his life, and he chose to come
Right.
into yours. If God tailor-made it for it to self-destruct and not to be anymore, and the relationship is desecrated, well, glory to be to God. But if this was a test for you to prune out some fruit, and you notice God showed you that he was guarded every time this happened, and there were a few occasions where he was able to break through and give you what you needed, and then he would draw back to the board where the insecurity first came in.
Right.
That's a moment where you fast and you ask the Holy Spirit, reveal to me the event. Because if I can understand you, now I don't perceive your issues as wicked, but now I perceive you as weakness in that area. Since it's sensitive, now I know how to cut. And before I cut, I can have some anesthesia on it first. I don't know if I'm
That
speaking
is
to
so
metaphorically
deep.
or
That was very deep.
That is
It was
deep.
She just
Wow.
And it made sense.
metaphorized.
And it made,
It made
perfect sense.
sense.
And I
Yeah.
visualize that thing. You need to be a doctor.
Hey, you got a doctor
I'm a
now.
psychologist. My mom.
Oh my gosh, girl. Hey, she on my team now. She on my team. I know we gotta wrap it up.
Put Becky from State Farm back up. Okay.
You are awesome. Oh wow.
God be the glory.
So many people need to hear this information and to hear this, and by no means am I putting anybody on blast. I'm trying to get a better understanding of myself, because I blame myself for things not working simply because the finger was always pointed back towards me and never towards him. So he was that person. He is that type of person where he can do no wrong.
I had a spiritual mom explain to me one day, when it comes to the arrows, so to speak, emotions or words that are said that are deathly. You know, we have words, and the word says that the words you say, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and you eat the fruit thereof. So there's a repercussion after the words come out, because we share the DNA of God. He spoke this world to 6 days, 7th day he rested.
Right.
So I'm learning the relationship I have with the love of my life. I had to learn every time I hit a sore spot, and I didn't do it in grace and in God's character, but I did it out the works of the flesh, how it pushed him further away. And I even heard Bishop T.D. Jakes say, it's like going into the drain, getting a ring, and then you're just accidentally pushing the ring farther back. And I had to ask God, you know the manufacturing of his mind.
Yeah,
the things I
yeah.
don't know in a man, just culturally based, and how America says how his mind should think and how image says he should operate. And he's not on the meat, he's still on the milk. God, show me what to do. So when I listened to God and I approached the situation differently, he opened up again. With fear of thinking in the back of his mind, Erica can snap, and then here it is again. But he was able to push back towards, I had to take responsibility and say, I'm sorry. I knew better than to touch this. I was immature, and I wanted to prove a point out of my own defenses, because I felt if I can prove myself, I'm worthy. But God already took everything for me, so I don't have to vindicate myself. I had to realize with my identity and self-worth, a queen shouldn't have to explain something that you already know. We know there's a pink elephant.
Right.
I don't have to reiterate, because that's going to only cause more tension in the room between us. I had to learn how to be gentle, how you're gentle with a newborn infant when you have to clean the navel. You don't just go in and go all harsh. You do yourself in the shower, right? So I had to learn to be patient in that area, and he was able to reciprocate patience with me in an area I needed grace for that I couldn't get from any other individual. That's how I knew it was ordained.
That right there. So when you went back, you apologized, because I've been there, done that recently. But they're not receptive.
They're not strong enough to be yet.
So what do you
It's
do
your
in that, in the
responsibility
meantime?
to pray. And do you. Go to the gym, get a spa treatment, get your nails done. Do
See
you.
other people.
No.
No.
Work on projects.
No.
Because every individual is challenged with something behind closed doors.
Everyone.
Human being.
Everyone.
So every human being has their own set of, issues. I
So-
would say demons, but issues.
Yes, issues.
So-
I get it. So some people would call that putting your life on the line. I mean, putting your life on hold,
That's
waiting
an
for
insecure
somebody to
person
get ready.
who says that. And I'll say that because of this. If you know that the person's ordained for you, or the timing you have with God is on point, where you're giving God your all and God is your first love for
Yes.
anything else. You wake up, your devotion time
Right.
is God. You know what you're doing in the course of your day, when you see God's hand is upon you. Then when you think to yourself, am I holding my life or putting it on hold for someone else? God's like, well, how many times have I had to wait for this part of you to manifest fruit? If we say we believe we want to be Christ-like, then where are you when you say,
learning
Well, and I think
I like
it's
the whole
really
chime in,
important.
Rob.
I think it's really important to also know that in that situation, you just have to let it go.
Yeah.
There's nothing
the other choice.
you can do. And I'm not
Amen.
saying letting go of the relationship.
Right.
I'm saying
That
letting
part.
go your involvement.
yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
let God
Like,
let go.
like
Let God
just,
work.
and then no matter what happens, you praise anyway.
Amen.
You
And
know
I
what
do
I mean?
that. I do that. But I still have this lingering hurt.
Praise God.
And I know God can use us in our brokenness, because my prayer has come to God, take this pain away. God, I give this person to you. God, whatever your will, let it be done. I'm okay with that, because I am in love with God. I do love God. there's this hurt that it's almost like a heart, but it's almost like a piece is missing, and it's not where I understand you don't get your fulfillment from any man. You get your fulfillment from God. God completes you. The person that He has for you is to complement you, and you're not there to compete. And I'm using C words now, but I understand that, and I understand how all of that works. There's something, and I don't know if you want to call it a soul tie. I don't know what it is, but there's something that will not let me completely give up. And I say give up. It's not necessarily let go, because I told God, this is yours. This whole situation is yours. I want peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my home. I just want peace. I want more of you, Lord. Help me die to self and let more of you live in me, so that I can lean not to my own understanding, because I've been trying to understand this myself for the longest, and no matter how I try to understand, why did He act this way? Why did He do this? Why did He say, guys, I lean not to your own understanding. So I said, okay, Lord, I get it. But why is it I still sit back and I grieve from time to time? It's like that grieving spirit just hits me.
You give it spiritual allowance.
Yes.
Into your heart. When God says to you, lean not to your own understanding, realize He's not going to just stop at that. He's going to give you interpretation what He means. He's waiting for you to be able to murder that spirit of grieving within you. God is gentle, He's patient, so that He can give you more on just saying not lean to your own understanding. I've had personal experiences with God when I was able to calm the grieving spirit and hear God's voice over the spirit and explain to me where that person was hurt at. When that was exposed of their hurt, then I was able to have closure for myself easier. So I learned this. If you take two pieces of construction paper and they're two different colors, one is pink and one is a dark gray, and you put Elmer's glue and you stick them together. Now let them air dry. Now try to rip them apart. There's going to be pieces on one construction paper that has the color on the other. It won't be as though it was never connected. The original state it was in, because if there's a soul tie. Even if there's no, we're all adults, even if there's no intimacy of sex that's transferred, because you pray with one another, you're exchanging thoughts, you're exchanging your spirit man with that other person.
You're connected.
You're still connected. There's scriptures that says to guard your heart. Don't be so easy to lay hands on. But you have to rightly divide the word. But God is always trying to allow these moments to teach you how to lean on His dependency. It's perfectly normal to feel like, okay, I know I said I gave this to you, God, but I'm still right here where it still hurts because I expected this. When I went to Best Buy, I wanted the TV and the remote control. Well, guess what? It was missing the remote control. I can handle that. But the human being that I expected to give me this couldn't give me this. And I'm understanding why. But there was invested time. And I'm not quite there yet, God. This is still lingering with me. So there's tears.
You know?
So when He had a powerful point when He said, let that part go, not the human, not the relationship go. But when we give it to God and we have a made up mind, it's powerful, because now God can pour into us gold. It's like a vase that's been broken, and now lacquer and gold is in the veins of the restored vase.
Wow.
I mean, it's preparation. You know, I mean, you may be feeling that grief because He's preparing you for something else.
Right.
You know, like, okay, let her feel as much grief as she can over this situation, because when I bless her with this, she ain't going to be thinking about it at all.
She'll be ready to receive
so,
it.
I mean, everything good and bad has to have a reason. You know, I mean,
that's life.
Yeah, it is, and
some things happen for a reason to get you prepared for that right mate. And that's how I feel now. Through the relationships I've been in the past, whether it been abusive, verbally, physically, or whatever have you, now I found the one. I know that sounds cliche, but I found the one.
Right.
But you
and
gotta,
it made you stronger.
And all your experiences
Right.
leading up to it prepared you
Exactly.
for that person.
and
I can
praying
receive
too
that.
as well. So I'm happy.
I can receive that.
Because the same situation, like if you have that same situation with someone else, and
I'll
you've
already
already,
know
you won't grieve anymore. You're like, well,
Exactly.
that happened that last time. Let me try this now because this is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it all just one big circle, you know.
I can receive that. I think my producer was telling me to wrap up a long time ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She was like, well, but family, thank you guys for joining me in this discussion today. This has been great. How much time did we go through? Oh, wow, bless God. So, family, we're going to go ahead and I guess we're going to take a break. Thank you guys. Tell everybody who you are again, please.
Righteous Raj, Real and Righteous Radio, WDRBmedia, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Tune in.
Erica, I have yet to have a title.
Yes.
And Lovable LaShawn.
Yes, family, and I am Miss Divine. You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. Make sure you keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Woo,
Bless God for the anointing. You guys are awesome. I'm going to have you guys as my